Ren? Honey? Thank you! Honey, you got some... You got on your... Oh, it's on your cardigan. It's on your cardigan. We gotta get some peroxide to get that out. Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Espoir David, and today I want to play more of Day 5 of 14 Days with You. In the last video, we got to see our internet bestie Moth, and we had a lovely time at the beach. And no shenanigans occurred. Except for that dark and mysterious stranger who tried to push me out into the street. While trying not to spoil myself, there's something you can go down called the decay path. So I want to see if I can do that and get the bad endings. Wait, Ren, wait, you know I can't read that. Run. Ren! Ren! Stop showing me words that I can't read! And there's even the text is scared. Ren, if you jump me, I will scream so loud and then totally lose my marbles. You did not come here for the tales of old, did you? You are here, seeking him. What? Did I mess up? Did I do something wrong? Very well. I shall return him unto you once more, though such leniency will not be seen henceforth. Do not come here again. You do not belong here. Whomst! Not until you remember that of which you have forgotten. What? It was beginning to get dark once I arrived back at my apartment complex, so I quickly ushered my way up the staircase and onto my floor. But as I'm making the long trek up the stairs, I bump into someone lingering around the corner and almost lose my footing. Whomst are these people? They look cool! Kinda makes me want to dye my hair platinum white. Oof. Whoa. There, right before my eyes, is my landlord, Beau, but the other person by his side is a complete stranger to me. Pretty sure we haven't met these characters before, but... Good evening, Espoir. Finished with the day? You! There you are! Have you been getting my complaints? Oh, okay. Complaints? What is she talking about? I don't believe either of you have met yet. Shall I introduce the two of you? Was he seriously trying to divert the conversation right now? Listen! I had a guy over, and he couldn't sleep on the extra mattress I had because of the rats! Espoir, I want you to meet my daughter. This is my pride and joy, Haruko. It's Haruka. Ah, yes. You mean, like, the main protagonist from Attack on Giants? Unfortunately. Is my landlord also a fan of anime? Your father seriously named you after an anime character? I mean... Yeah, so maybe he's a tad bit obsessed with the anime. That's why he wears these stupid clips and painted his nails pink. The blue rhinestones were my addition, though. Oh yeah, he does have hair clips in his hair, kind of like Ren does. Aw, we should just have a big ol' Attack on Giants party. But I think being called Haruka is embarrassing enough. My younger sister was named after his favorite character of all time, Ren. Haruko's arch nemesis? You can't be serious. Wait, no, we're getting off topic again. The rats! Beau, did you or did you not get my complaints? Huh? Come again? Listen, you. He looks up from his phone and spares a meager glance in my direction. Sorry, Espoir. I've been so distracted lately. You see, I've always had an interest in renovating old buildings. In fact, I recently bought another apartment complex in New Salvis for this very purpose. I suppose that makes it 28 buildings now? Right, my adorable little munchkin. It's always so hard keeping track of everything. I'm a grown adult. Don't call me that. Oh, but you've always been my sweet baby princess. It's like I'm not even here. Sir, the rats! But as soon as Bo reaches out to pinch one of Haruka's cheeks in an affectionate manner, I take a moment to fully absorb their conversation. So my landlord bought yet another building, huh? Well, that probably explains why he hardly ever bothers to take care of this apartment. Well, whatever. I didn't have time for this, or their mushy, tender moment. I got people to be mean to. Without another word, I quietly excuse myself from the conversation and make my way home. Ah! Ooh, cool. Cool is a whole little social media thing. In here, I can see where everyone is. Ren_exe. Cute. Cute. You know what, Ren? I think maybe I should encourage your dark behavior. We're going down this path. You know what? Maybe you should've. I can't really stand people who do whatever they please for their own selfish reasons. I glare at the floor as I recount how Teo had been treating me lately, like I was something expendable to throw away once he had his fun. Besides, wasn't that what he essentially did? Once Eleanor came in, he didn't look twice before leaving with her. Yeah. You'd be okay with that? With Teo dead? Yes. Full stop. Really? You sure? I'm sure. He stares at me with wide eyes, and it almost makes me regret saying anything in the first place. Wait, but if he turns up dead, I mean, this has nothing to do with me. I don't really care what just came over me, but still. Some decrepit and morbid part of me genuinely did believe that Teo would have been better off at the bottom of Lake Blue Moss. I never really let it get to me, but I've honestly had it up to here with people like him. Those hedonistic individuals who only care about themselves and never the well-being of those around them. Perhaps it was why I moved away from the city in the first place, to escape people like Teo. In some messed up way, at least, it brought me closer to someone as understanding and considerate as Ren. Oh yeah, in Ren's house, why don't we do some snooping? What's on his desk? Holding the book to my chest for now, I glanced at the desk once more. The papers were still there, alongside Ren's laptop that was still surprisingly on, despite not being plugged into a power socket. Admittedly, it did pique my interest. Why would Ren leave his laptop unattended, and how was it able to have power? As if getting a response, a message pops up on the screen and startles me. You sure she's gone for real this time? We can't risk, after what happened last time. It's like it's following us. Angry face. And just a suggestion, but maybe try burning that other thing too. I don't want any chances. Is this a red herring or is this more lore? Chances. I don't know. Look, I'll see if I can visit and help you out as well. Need to return your boring piece of junk anyway. Somebody didn't like it. Well, whatever. Don't do anything stupid in the meantime, redacted. All of a sudden, the app closes itself and shows me Ren's cluttered desktop, and out of the corner of my eye, I swear I see the red light of his webcam turn on for a split second. I shouldn't be looking through Ren's personal messages without his permission. What kind of creep does that? The entrance to the aquarium appears on the television as ambulance lights flash and sirens go off in the background. There's a somber expression on the reporter's face as she communicates with her counterpart who is currently at the location. Victim's body has been found, mauled and ripped apart, in one of the shark tanks. Authorities have confirmed that it is the body of Christian Doe's son and sole heir to the corporate giant, Tech Marketing. Also believe that was a self-inflicted accident. Here on the scene with us, we have the mayor's chairman and the mother of the victim, Kaori to talk about. The TV turns to static, and I quickly reach for the remote to find another channel. Another news show pops up, this time showing a grainy black and white recording of CCTV footage taken from the aquarium. Although it's hard to make out, the footage depicts a person pacing around on the wooden decks until the upper half of their body is just out of frame. The rest of their body was still in view, though, being illuminated by their phone screen as they fiddled with it. Then, all of a sudden, the person immediately drops it, almost as if it was too hot to touch, and take a step back. They must have lost their footing or something, as they end up tumbling into the tank and submerging themselves underwater. The footage cuts out shortly after, seemingly too inappropriate to air on live television, as noted by the reporter. Ooh. I am so very grateful that there is a walkthrough, so that I know at this point these two choices will lead me down two different paths if I do it right. With my heartbeat still hammering loudly in my chest, I end up unconsciously turning the television off to avoid hearing about more heavy topics, of people dying horribly. Seeing all of this recent talk of gore and murder on TV, it makes me feel I enjoy seeing it, or I feel sick just hearing about it. Now, if I've done this right, I don't want to get the decay ending or the really, really, really bad ending just yet. I just want to get the regular bad ending. So, it makes me so sick, even though I'm being so evil and talking about murder. Thinking about all of this gory violence and death, it makes me feel uneasy. In fact, it was one of the reasons why I left the city in the first place. Prior to moving to Corland Bay, I had always been surrounded by petty crimes, selfish losers who called themselves my friends, and even the stench of death. Anyway, you should probably head home before the storm comes. Thanks for dropping me off, and for the food. I make sure to lift up the bag full of takeaway for him to see. Of course, thanks for, paying for my ticket. You can thank Teo for that. I think I'll pass. Ren's face playfully scrunches up at the mere mention of Teo, and I find myself letting out a small chuckle before unlocking my front door and stepping into my apartment. Well, I should probably go get this camera set up and head to bed. Stay safe on your drive back. I will. Sleep well, Angel. You too. Good night, Ren. Aww. I sent him off with a smile before closing the door. It takes me a while and countless online video tutorials, but I somehow managed to set up the security cameras and connect them to an app on my phone without too much trouble. It would alert me of any unusual activity and movements when I'm not home, and I felt immensely safer because of it. Though I still had faith that my new lock hadn't been tampered with since I got it, considering how the letter had been shoved underneath the door rather than being placed on something as conspicuous as a table. If I had found it on my bedside table instead, I definitely would have felt true fear. I was getting worked up again. If I continued to think about this any more than I should, I swear I would start to go crazy. Deciding that that was a problem for future me, I lock myself in my bedroom and hide within the safety of my duvet. A faint glow emits from my phone as I check to make sure I have all the angles in my apartment covered. Satisfied with my handiwork, I lay back on my bed and idly zoom in and out with one of the camera screens until I grow bored. I doubt I'll be able to fall asleep quickly, but it wouldn't hurt to try. Besides, I had to be up bright and early for work tomorrow. Oh yeah, and the last day for video at this point, Ren would have slept over. With that thought in mind, I lock my phone, shove it under one of my pillows, and will myself to fall asleep. Nostalgia greets me like an old friend, and before my consciousness fades away, I try to chase after the foggy memory that's been plaguing my brain as of late. Those 3 kids laughing and playing together near a lake, who were they? And who was the one that stayed right by my side, even after everyone else went home? Almost desperately, I try and recall their face, or any of their defining features. Really, at this point, I take anything. The faintest recollection of pudgy cheeks, twin pigtails, and a frowning expression swirls in my mind, but it slips away the moment I drift further into dreamland. And now we've made it up to day 5. Rather than the faint chirping of birds outside my window, it's the sound of something buzzing that rudely pulls me from my slumber. Oh yeah, if Moth calls, and Ren's not here, what happens then? Muscle memory immediately kicks in, causing me to haphazardly throw my arm above my head and fumble around in search of the noise. When my hand lands on what I think is my phone, I groggily pull it closer to see what all the fuss is about. My boss's name flashes on the screen, causing me to awaken fully, and I unlock my phone to read his message. Oh yeah, is this about the bookworms? Library closed today. Police closed down the entire street. Unsure why. We'll text you if more information becomes available. Oh, that's not about bookworms! What? Conan's odd texting quirks aside, what did he mean the police closed down the entire street? Uh-oh! Did that have anything to do with what was on the news last night? Yeah, I'm guessing that was Teo. Oh no, how awful. That reminds me, I still needed to call Eleanor and Teo to see if they were all right. I mean, it's been almost an entire day since I heard any kind of reply from them. I'll try Eleanor first. Not wasting any time, I find her name in my contacts list and press the call button, only for it to immediately go to voicemail. Strange. Maybe she's busy. I hope she at least received Conan's text. I'd hate for her to show up bright and early at the library, only to find out that it's been closed for the day. Ren, listen to me. Do not. The Eleanor. Do not. You can do the Teo, but do not the Moth, and do not the Eleanor. Oh dear. Teodore, this account has been terminated. Whoops. So does that mean that this is already... What does this mean? Eleanor... Okay, Eleanor's alright. In this little mappy here, you can kind of see what's happening. Ren's over there, I'm over here, Eleanor's with her sister, her boss is over there. Okay, that's neat, I like that. And Moth is over there coming our way. Hey there, sleepyhead. I've got something big to share with you. Do you remember how I told you about that drawing raffle I won? You know, the other day when you were at the manga store, and the thing got mysteriously cut off? Good morning to you too, and yeah, I do, but you got cut off near the end though. I couldn't really make out what you were saying after our call disconnected. I did? Weird. Maybe I'm remembering things differently again. Dang. Well, no harm in telling you again. You can hear me this time, right? With a tired laugh, I nod my head and give Moth a thumbs up. Loud and clear. Alright, drum roll please. Guess who won a free trip to New Salvis? Me, that's who. No way! So are we still gonna meet up with Ren? So yeah, we're starting this day without Ren. I wonder if he's gonna pop up. Now appropriately dressed and prepared to face the day, I barely take 2 steps out of my apartment before the muffled sounds of chatter capture my attention. Uh-oh. Glancing towards the only functioning elevator on the far side of the hallway, I notice Violet and Ren in what seems to be an animated conversation, though it looks like my neighbor was the only one doing most of the talking. Oh, hello, Espoir. Good morning. Heading somewhere exciting today? I'm just on my way to the ferry terminal. Angel! I can practically see sparkly particle effects appear around Ren's face as he beams at me with a sunny smile. Oh, he's so happy! The next thing I know, he pivots away from Violet, beelines towards me, and invades my personal space by curiously leaning closer. Hi. And, wow, isn't this an unlikely surprise? Oh, yeah. I actually bumped into Violet this morning while on my walk. We started talking about you, and she mentioned something about being your neighbor. I did? Yeah, you also asked if I wanted to follow you upstairs to see if Espoir was home, and, well, here you are. Oh, I see. I could have sworn I went upstairs to check. No, never mind. Ren? Violet seems somewhat confused at the legitimacy of Ren's words, but ultimately brushes it off with a shake of her head. Is everything alright with her? Well, I should probably let you both be on your way then. Have fun, you two.
Ren, are you able to control people's thoughts as well as their phones? Before either of us can muster a response, Violet swiftly turns on her heels and makes her way towards her apartment. A wave of concern washes over me as I notice how she ignores the potted plant by her door. Normally, she'd give it a pet or even bring it inside on certain days, but Ren's timid voice pulls me away from my thoughts and captures my attention. So, you said something about visiting the ferry terminal earlier?
Oh, right. I was on my way to meet my online friend, actually.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. But is it really good practice to be meeting random strangers online? Or random strangers in the library, Ren? His concern is almost palpable, and it strikes a chord within me, and although Ren definitely had a valid point, Moth was no stranger. All 5 years of our friendship can attest to that. However, I did appreciate his concern nonetheless. In fact, it reminds me so much of Haruko, and how he'd always look out for the safety of his friends. All of a sudden, a mischievous thought crosses my mind. One that involves Moth, and the real-life manifestation of Haruko. Oh yeah, they'd definitely freak out if they ever saw Ren in the flesh. With such an ingenious plan now firmly hatched in my mind, I turned to him with a faux innocent glint in my eyes. Ren! Renny Pooh, my favorite pink-haired guy. Did you want to come along? You want me to join? Yeah, sure, of course. I even know the quickest route to the ferry. You can count on me.
Oh, and that's how Ren and I found ourselves catching a ride to the promenade to meet Moth. Following Moth's gaze, I notice Ren sheepishly walk up to the both of us and stand by my side. He doesn't seem to greet Moth in any way, but just as I turned around to fully face him, Ren removes a hand from his pocket and gives a shy wave. Oh yeah, 'cause he hasn't met Moth yet. I guess I've gotten so used to Ren being more forward around me that I almost forgot about his reserved side.
It's nice to meet you. I'm, Ren.
Holy! You even sound just like him. Wait, don't tell me. Do you also wimp Moth?
Moth, don't do this!
Crap, did I say that out loud? Whatever, doesn't matter. You can't blame me when I got the real-life Haruko standing in front of me right now. Aw, where'd you get your hair done? Can you save me from a giant? Do you need a spouse? Moth? The walk along the promenade is awfully quiet, and it has me wondering where the usual crowd of people are. Usually I'd see Jay or Teo hanging around near the food kiosks, but not today. No one seemed to be around. Did something happen? Oh yeah, hehehe. And why was nobody answering their phones? It'd surely been over a few hours by now, and Eleanor's never been one to screen a text for this long. Can I check that thing? And this is the part when, Jae-hyun would usually pop up, right? Teo too, for that matter, even if he often finds enjoyment in ghosting others. It sure is quiet today. At least we won't have to worry about fighting someone over a spot to put down our stuff.
That's true, but we can't go in the ocean wearing these outfits. Here, why don't I buy some swimsuits for us? There's a beach apparel stand just over there.
Oh, you don't have to. Besides, I was mostly joking. You already know Moth doesn't like the ocean.
It's fine. I won't be long.
Ren sure is adamant about getting us to the beach in our little bikinis and stuff. Before I can respond, Ren is already bounding towards the nearby stall with a slight spring in his step. Aw. Well then. It's fine, E. You two can swim if you want. I don't mind sitting under a palm tree or two and catching up on some webcomics. Are you sure? Yeah, besides, now might be a good time to try and conquer my fears. Probably.
I'm right there with you, Moth.
You know, I recently watched this anime where the main protagonist gets isekai'd to an underwater city.
Ooh. That sounds really cool, actually. I kind of want to write that. And they're surrounded by hot fishmen, but they have to overcome their fears of the ocean.
When Ren returns, he's got a bunch of bathing suits, towels, and a beach bag bundled up in his arms.
He wastes no time in handing me a swimsuit, and before I can tell what's happening, he's already ushering me towards a changing stall and promising to watch the door from outside. I'll pick one that shows off my hot bod. The design on the front somewhat resembles my edgy aesthetic. Edgy aesthetic. And it makes me wonder if that was the reason why Ren intentionally picked it out for me. However, another part of me wonders if he only picked this swimsuit because it shows off some of my legs. Heh, I know what you are, Ren. I can still hear Moth moving about in the stall next to me, alongside the rustling of fabric and a few expletives, so I take my time changing, but it doesn't take long before I'm fully dressed and ready to throw myself into the ocean. Alright, I'm gonna get out and let Ren use my stall this time. Give him his privacy. All yours, buddy. You are? The stall? Ren, it's all yours. Aw, Ren. Oh, right. Haha, the stall. Mine. I mean, my turn. He's so cute. Gosh darn it, Ren, stop. It's almost endearing, watching the way he puffs his cheeks and pouts as he fumbles. Ren makes sure to keep direct eye contact on the ground instead of me as he passes by, but he turns around at the last minute and peers at me from behind the door. You really were talking about the stall, right? Actually, never mind. I mean, you can have me too, Ren. I wouldn't mind. You've been nothing but a sweet baby gentleman this whole time. Before I can respond, Ren slams the door shut and hides his flushed expression from me. I can still hear you two, you know. Hi, Moth. I stifle my laughter at Ren's confused look as Moth continues to rant while they tug him towards the Haruko statue. I look away the moment they ask to start posing, and then it's at that time I realize I still have Ren's phone in my hands. But just as I move to return it to its rightful owner, the screen immediately lights up and starts to vibrate. Perhaps it's muscle memory kicking in from all the times my own phone would go off, but I find myself unconsciously lifting it up to look at the screen before realizing what I had just done. I understand why the offering wouldn't work with O, but did you really need to fish out that this is a different message from last time? Who are you? Are you the one who tried to push me? The offering wouldn't work with O? Who's O? But did you really need to fish out that? So, spoiler, well, not a real spoiler because we read it happen. Teo's in the water. Teo probably got attacked and eaten by a shark. Completely accidental. Ren had nothing to do with that. But I'm pretty sure Teo's dead. Oh, who's O? Oh, we've still got a bit of time to kill. Ma'am, listen, ma'am, you're gonna get bonked, and not in a way that you like. Didn't that one girl's name start with an O? And actually, we haven't seen her. Is she dead? What does this mean? Crap, what exactly are you doing right now, Espoir? I shouldn't be reading through someone else's private notifications like this. And yet, I couldn't help but feel... Oh yeah. So last time I said, I feel fine, hang out with Ren a little longer, but I'm being mean. And, Ren, I want you to, I feel weirded out. Ask Ren to leave us alone. I couldn't shake off the feeling that something just wasn't right. While the text ultimately seemed harmless, and granted, I had barely... And why do they call that an offering, now that I think about it? Offering to who? While the text ultimately seemed harmless, and granted, I had barely any context to go off of, my instincts were telling me not to fall for it. With a resolute nod, I make my way towards the group and try to grab Ren's attention. Hey Ren, this seems really important and also suspicious. Angel, sorry. Did you want to take more photos as well? Here, I'll move out of the way. Actually, I was thinking of taking Moth back to the pier so I can finish up the rest of the tour. I wanted to return your phone first. Oh, right. Thanks. Here, let me get my towel and we can all go back to the... So I was thinking, maybe it could just be me and Moth? Oh, you can see the moment in his eyes when his heart breaks. You and Moth? Don't you want me to come along? Is there something wrong? Did I do something wrong?
No, nothing is wrong. I just didn't realize that having the real-life Haruko tagging along would be a bit too overwhelming for them. Once things settle down, maybe we can all meet up again. That was a bold-faced lie, but I hope Ren won't see through it. He totally can see through it.
You really don't want me? I see. Yeah, sure. Okay. I guess I'll see you later then. You have my number anyway. I'll only be a text away.
If only he knew.
If only you knew what route I was doing, Ren.
The moment we reach the main street, I immediately pick up on the lack of, well, noise.
Oh wait, is this when I get bumped and Ren isn't there to help me?
Aside from a lone cop car, there were hardly any other cars or people on the street, and most of the stores appeared to be closed. Weird. Was today a public holiday? I doubt it, considering I was initially supposed to work today. But before I can dwell on it any longer,
the music started bumping.
I suddenly find myself being thrust forward and onto the road by an unknown force, before Moth reaches out a hand to pull me back.
Ah! Who are you?
I turn around to confront the offender, but I'm not able to get a good look at their face because of the mask and hoodie they're wearing. Despite that, they seem to exude something sinister by the way their shoulders hunch forward as their hands remain in their pockets. What if they were hiding a knife in there? Any semblance of a retort dies on my tongue as I take a step back towards Moth. I can feel them reach for my arm, and with one more glance, I turn away and hurriedly pace down the street. What the heck was that? Espoir, are you okay? What the heck was their problem? I mean, come on, how hard is it to look where you're going? That dude's a grade A loser. No, they're the S tier of losers. Yeah, S tier loser. Moth's words of reassurance do little to comfort me, but I appreciate hearing them nonetheless. I just couldn't seem to shake off the eerie feeling or calm my rapid heartbeat after that sudden encounter. What if that was my stalker, the person who was... Maybe we should head back to your place. I guess peak hour is starting since everyone seems to be in such a hurry. Yeah, good idea. Whether or not Moth picks up on my hesitancy is lost on me. I don't want to worry them, let alone ruin what's supposed to be a fun day for them, so I try my best to mask my fears, for their sake. Also, I won't lie, the thought of being within the safety of my own home is genuinely a comforting idea. Oh yeah, I also have to pick the route to see if anything happens if you bring Moth to Ren's house. Having Moth close by somehow seems to boost my confidence as well, and from that thought alone, I give a resolute nod and lead them towards my apartment. Admittedly, even after we'd made it back to my apartment, I still couldn't shake off the sense of fear still lingering in me. I felt terrible for dismissing Moth's concern for the nth time tonight, and even more so when I shut down their request to watch the latest Attack on Giants episode together. Aww! I honestly couldn't get myself in the mood to do so, and whether or not Moth picked up on it, they chose not to say anything. Instead, they offered to head straight to bed so that they could wake up early and spend the morning with me before they had to leave. It made me smile to know that Moth still wanted to spend more time with me, so with a promise to do so, I helped prepare my couch for them to sleep on and made my way towards my bedroom. Perhaps out of habit, or was it fear, I triple-checked to make sure that my window was locked tight and that my bedroom door is shut completely. I'd already quadruple-checked that the front door was locked before I turned in for the night, so, with a satisfied hum, I crawled into bed and tried to get comfortable. Though sleep proves to be difficult, given recent events, so I retort to counting the faint ticking of the clock to help me drift away to dreamland. 12, 13, 14... Soon enough, everything starts to fade, and I feel the cold embrace of sleep wash over me.
Wait, what? Ren? That better not be you.
All of a sudden, a blood-curdling scream rattles the walls and pulls me from my slumber. What the... was that... Moth? crap, what was that? Oh, man. Oh, no.
Who could have seen this coming? My face when I reject the Yandere for my best friend, and then my best friend gets killed for it.
Don't tell me it's the creep from earlier. Panic takes hold of my body, and I find myself frozen in place. The logical part of my brain tells me to reach for my phone, to check the cameras, and look for any signs of danger. But I can't seem to move. My body runs cold as I sit in my bed, and no matter how many times I reassure myself that the footsteps outside are just Moth, I can't seem to convince my brain otherwise. Crap, 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 crap! The faint glow of the hallway light seeps in from underneath my door, but it soon fades away the moment a shadowy figure appears. I somehow find the strength to turn away, yet when I brace myself for the worst to happen, nothing comes.
Why aren't you grabbing the machete that you carry right next to your bed?
Instead, there's just an eerie silence and a sense of dread hanging in the air. I know I should probably scream, yell, throw something, anything that would make enough noise to alert my neighbors, yet I can't seem to get any of my limbs to move, no matter how hard I try. My body betrays me as it stays rooted in place, and all I can do is lay as still as a statue and hope that this is all some kind of messed up nightmare.
Or that the intruder's sight is only by movement.
What I would give to just wake up and see my friends again, to see Teo again, and even Ren, if he were here right now. Crap, if only I'd asked him to stay. Why did I turn him away? All because of some stupid text message? Even more palpable silence passes, and just as I begin to think that this was all in my head...
Ah! Wait, is that Teo? Oh no, did my dead not friends get revenge?
From the corner of my eye, I swear I can see some kind of ghastly apparition begin to form by the foot of my bed.
I think that is that Olivia girl. Oh, are you guys upset? 'Cause you're dead? I mean, you probably shouldn't have been rolling up on my man when we were clearly on a date. And Teo, you should find a way to stop being a living garbage can.
Tendrils of smoke seem to rise from the floor and wrap around my form, before it envelops me in a dark haze and renders me unable to move or make a sound. All I can hear is the loud thumps of my heartbeat before...
Ren? Or either of you two? Don't you dare jump scare me.
In the blink of an eye, the otherworldly mass manifests closer to me, and it's then that I notice the eerie sounds spilling out from the darkness. It's a macabre amalgamation of bones cracking, flesh bending in ways it shouldn't, unnerving crying, and the muffled pleas and shouts for help.
Eh?
Eh? Eh?
Eh? Eh? Nope, can't read it.
Upon hearing that, a bloodied, severed hand emerges from within the dark abyss and hovers above my face, and I let out a pitiful sob the moment the drop of blood lands on my cheek. The hand reaches for the blanket below my chin in an attempt to peel it back, and I muster all of my strength to keep it cocooned around me. It was my last line of defense, and I wasn't about to have my final source of safety ripped away from me. Not wanting to look and see how the spectral form would respond, I squeeze my eyes shut and try to bury my face in the pillow. But the eerie sound of water running and reeds rattling in the wind draw my attention, and I crack open an eye to see... nothing.
The scariest thing an apparition can do. Nothing.
Before I can make sense of what I just witnessed, the world around me starts to go blurry. But even as I lose consciousness, I don't miss the faint shape of something large disappearing from the corner of my eye, along with the lingering smell of old paper, something muddy, and the foul stench of blood.
I think the dude or dudette who nearly pushed me in the street also had a musky, muddy kind of smell. What does this mean? Oh no. I think I saw someone on TikTok, translate this. I can't remember what the code is, but somebody translated this, and it's like another voice talking. Okay, so I found the TikTok that translate this. Thank you very much, Lena the loser. I hope you don't mind me using the information that you so painstakingly put on here. So this is what Lena has translated that this says. How interesting. A lowly, meager interloper, attempting to rewrite what has already been ordained since the beginning. You remember nothing of your past, nor how you came to be, yet here you are, attempting to dig up the roots of fate as though it were a weed and planting your own corrupt seedling in its place. Perhaps we are the same. I too find enjoyment in disrupting the vines of Kishmet and watching him struggle. 'Twas I who gave him his gift, as I did with others, and yet he wastes such spoils on a lowly mortal to borrow more time. I suppose the life of many matters not to the life of one. No matter, such trivial entertainment is not lost on me. Go on, continue down this foolish, overgrown path, and see what will happen. 'Tis not thy wilting soul I feed on, and it shall not be thy life I claim once the ending has begun. After all, I am the end, just as I am the beginning, and in between. The past, present, and future, combined into one. I am inevitable. So, thank you very much, Lena the loser, for translating that. I am now even more confused. This is the message you get if you keep getting a bunch of bad ends, and I don't know what it means. You did not come here for the tales of old, did you? You are here, seeking him. Very well. I shall return him unto you once more, though such leniency will not be seen henceforth. Do not come here again. You do not belong here. Not until you remember that of which you have forgotten. You know, mysterious character, sure does sound like you're telling me what to do. I don't know if I did the bad end correctly, but going back a little bit, what if we go to Ren's place, after not asking Ren to leave and avoiding all that. But how about we bring Moth to Ren's place? Somehow, I felt a lot more comfortable going back to Ren's apartment instead of my own. Actually, that probably would be smarter, too. I don't want to risk Moth's safety either, so I try my best to convince myself that this really is a good idea after all. With a resolute nod of my head, I turn to Ren with a meek smile. Would it be alright if we go to your apartment? Yes, of course, it's totally fine. It's not far from here anyway. Moth still seems a bit peeved by the person who bumped into me, but they still nod their head at my question. Alright then, let's go. Aw, we're gonna have an anime pizza party at Ren's house. Soon, we all arrive at Ren's apartment complex in record time. I guess he really wasn't lying when he said it wasn't far, but judging from the pristine interior and fully functioning elevators, his building seemed to be in far better shape compared to my apartment. The elevator ride could have been a little less awkward, though, if it weren't for the slow ascend and tacky music, or the fact that I could feel Ren staring holes through the back of my head. But it's Moth's awestruck voice that pulls me back to the present, and I watch in silence as they take in the scene before them once the automatic doors open. Oh my god. What kind of entryway is this? And is that marble flooring? Dude, you can afford this much marble? I didn't buy it. It came with the apartment. And so did the rest of the furniture, or most of it. That's a whole lot of marble. Jeez, I guess I skipped the episode where Haruko became a millionaire. Like I said, I'm not Haruko. I'm Ren. And those
dookie slippers? He got them dookie slippers?
Actually, it's probably pronounced doochie. Dookie.
I hate to admit it, Espoir, but your beloved Haruko is literally living the dream life right now. So, when are you moving in? Ren seems to perk up at that.
I'll move in with you, Ren. You know what? No questions asked.
Move in? No, I mean, look at all this space. If you won't live here, I will. How many rooms are here? How many kitchens does this place have? Is there a cinema room? Oh, what about...
Here, try and see if these fit you.
Ren's voice cuts Moth off as he throws a pair of shoes onto the ground. Oh, they're a little tight around the toes, but comfy.
That's too bad. I don't have any other sizes.
You know, they look like they might fit me better, actually. Here, wanna swap? Moth's slippers definitely appear smaller than the pair I'm currently wearing, but they didn't look too uncomfortable. That much is evident when we swap, and Moth seems to be feeling all the more better in the larger pair of slippers, if their wide, appreciative smile was anything to go by. You don't mind? Not at all.
Actually, maybe I do have another pair that'll fit you better, E. Here, I'll go and check again.
It's cool, Ren. Don't worry about it. Aww.
But I wanted you to wear my slippers, Angel.
Aw, the hurt in his eyes. Aw. As we make our way into the living room, I couldn't help but take in my surroundings in awe. Did Ren seriously live in a place like this? And it was honestly hard to imagine, given how humble he came across, and was this even an apartment? Surely a penthouse would have made more sense. Oh yeah, in this playthrough, I'm trying to be mean, so I chose not to go to Ren's apartment, so this is the first time that I'm seeing it. Man, there are so many branching paths in this game, which would mean that they would have to have a lot of if-then statements, because if this is the first time that you're going into Ren's apartment, then they gotta write like a whole different introduction from the first introduction that you would have gotten in the other day. Whew. The living room is just as ostentatious as the entryway, though I couldn't help but feel like it lacked any form of life. It just didn't seem like someone actually lived here. The furniture was gaudy, yet tasteless. There was hardly any personal decorum or colors, and there was nothing that really screamed Ren to me. Yeah, we still know very little about the things Ren actually likes, aside from all the same things that the MC likes. There were no personal touches, photos, items, hobbies, nothing. Just tacky furniture and the bland smell of something sterile. If I was being honest, it gave off the same vibe as a dentist clinic or a hospital. But I suppose it made sense considering how Ren is still in the process of moving in. Oh. I mean, he did say something similar earlier, didn't he? Did he? Not that I had much time to ponder, however, as Moth suddenly throws an arm over my shoulder and pulls me away from my thoughts. The next thing I know, they're suggesting we order some takeout so that we can chow down on something while catching up on the recent episodes of Attack on Giants. It's almost comedic, watching Ren and Moth huddle over a phone to look through the menu, and I nearly end up letting a laugh slip through when they start bickering over the meal deals not actually being that good of a deal. Leaving the two of them to their own devices, I plop onto the couch with a sigh and absent-mindedly clutch one of the throw pillows. Odd, I swear I have the exact same cushions on my couch back at home. Did Ren and I have the same taste in decor? Before I can get too deep into my thoughts, Moth and Ren join me on the couch once more to fill me in on what they've ordered, and what they got for me as well. Moth seems all too happy to talk about the fried rice dish they ordered, before rambling about how most fast food joints never usually have it in stock, all while Ren gets his television set up for us. The next thing I know, we're almost 2 episodes deep until our food arrives. It takes another 3 more before we're all finished with our meals, and soon enough, Moth is relaxing on the floor with a bunch of pillows surrounding them, while Ren and I remain on the couch. Aww. Here we go! It's finally beach episode time! You guys have to see the outfit the animators put him in. It wasn't in the manga, but I still think it's cool. Wait, we should turn the lights off for maximum effect. Uh-oh. Moth's voice fills the silence as they get up, flick off the light switch, and start to pump themselves up for the opening song. Yet my mind can't help but wander towards today's events. I still couldn't shake off the encounter from earlier, or the fact that I now had solid proof of a stalker who wouldn't leave me alone. Still, going to Ren's place was definitely a smart idea. There's an entire team of security personnel down in the reception, and you need a specific keycard to make it past the first floor. Well, Ren, looks like I'm gonna have to move in with you. Now, knowing this, I wouldn't have to worry about Moth's safety as much, and for some reason, well, I don't know why, but I always seem to feel a lot better whenever Ren is around. Speaking of... You okay, buddy? I cast a sneaky glance in Ren's direction, only to find him sprawled out on the couch. He had offered to share a blanket earlier, after I offered mine to Moth, and I couldn't help but notice how much of it he'd given to me. In fact, only half of his leg was covered, and with winter night around the corner, I was worried he was too shy to admit that he was feeling cold. Without thinking, I lean over and gently drape a portion of the blanket across Ren's lap in an attempt to offer him some warmth. But as I do, my hand inadvertently brushes against the back of his, and it's then that I notice just how cold his skin feels. Aww! A surge of concern washes over me, and I have half a mind to reach out to grasp his hands in my own, but Ren's immediate reaction keeps me rooted in place. Almost unashamedly, his gaze shifts towards me before he sends me a curious look, and when he finally speaks, his voice is barely above a whisper, almost getting drowned out by the noise coming from the television.
It's okay, Angel. You can have it.
I'm not the one with frozen hands. As if to prove a point, I reach out and gently poke one of his cold knuckles.
But your hands are cold too.
Ren, shh! We both glance in Moth's direction for any signs of disruptions. They seem far too engrossed with whatever is happening on the television to fully turn around.
You're cold. I should have noticed earlier. Here, I'll go turn up the heater.
No, it's okay. Here, why don't we, snuggle up together, ask to change the temperature, take back the blanket, tell Ren that you're fine. Yeah, why don't we raise the temperature? That should be good for everybody. Actually, Ren, do you mind changing the temperature?
Oh, yeah, of course. I'll do it now. Be right back.
At that, Ren gets up from the couch and meanders down the hallway, almost stiffly, like his limbs don't know how to bend, leaving Moth to face me with a knowing look in their eyes. Any particular reason why his ears are beet red? I haven't the faintest idea of what you're talking about. Don't think I didn't notice the way he fixed his pants once he stood up. Jeez, Moth! Without missing a beat, I throw a pillow in their general direction with a laugh, and they easily dodge it by leaning to the side. However, our antics quickly die down once Ren returns, resulting in Moth giving me one last smirk before turning their attention back to the TV. Okay, here we go. We're going to the beach now. There on the television, in all its glory, is the iconic Giant's Cove we visited earlier today, and Moth can barely contain their excitement. Oh my god, look! That's the massive rock arch we saw. Dang, they really did take a whole lot of inspiration from Corland Bay. They're not shy with the way they languidly flop over on the carpet and pull one of the cushions to their chest to get more comfortable. But the moment is fleeting, as Haruko soon appears on the screen in a magical pink flurry. Almost instantly, Moth rolls onto their stomach instead, kicking their legs and practically melting over the side of Haruko in a swimsuit. His muscles! Look! I yearn to lick the crevices of his...
Okay. Like you're talking about someone who looks exactly like me.
Suppressing a laugh, I glance at Ren, who seems to be sporting a worried, yet just as flushed, look on his features.
And here I thought your fondness for Haruko was unmatched.
Those are some big words coming from someone who's rocking the same hairstyle as him.
What? What does that mean?
Hey, what are you two whispering about over there? Move closer to Ren? Answer Moth's question? Yeah, what are we talking about? We're just...
E and I were talking about Haruko's new outfit.
Oh, without me? Without another word, Moth gets up from the floor, pillows and all, and joins Ren and me on the couch. I barely catch a glimpse of Ren's pouty expression before Moth throws their blanket over my lap and huddles closer to me. Wait, I gotta show y'all this really cool fan art someone made. It's based on episode 20. Aww. Aw, Moth is so excited. In the end, we all blazed through the latest episode of Attack on Giant, and even a few MeTube theory videos, before the events of the day slowly started to catch up to us. Moth was the first to let out a yawn, and eventually the rest of us fell victim to it as well. I didn't want to leave the warmth of the fluffy blankets, but the thought of a comfy bed with plenty of legroom was calling my name. And before I knew it, Ren was already showing us to our rooms with a bright smile on his face, before he leaves Moth and I alone to decompress. As I step into my own room, I notice that it's just as gaudy and extravagant as the rest of the apartment, furnished with the most ornate decor and bold color choices I've ever seen. But just when I think it couldn't get any worse, I survey the rest of the room and come face to face with the most unfortunate revelation. It didn't come with its own bathroom. Dang it! With a grumble, I step back into the dark hallway, borrowed toothbrush and clothes in hand, and prepare myself for the inevitability of getting lost in Ren's endless maze of an apartment. It's that big? All of this for a single bathroom. I have no doubt that this place has at least 4 restrooms, but the chances of me finding even one seems laughable. Stumbling around yet another corner, I come across Moth, hunched in front of a door with a frown on their face. Moth? Whoa! Hey, sorry, were you looking for the restroom too? Nah, my room has a private ensuite. I'm actually looking for something else. A private what? Where was mine? What's an ensuite? I'm looking for Ren's cosplay room. His... Wait, hold on a sec. Are you snooping? Pfft, Moth! Shh, I'm not snooping. I'm just trying to find where he keeps all of his Attack on Giants merch. I'm sure a small peek won't hurt. I watch as Moth reaches for the door once more, only to be met with an audible click and a stiff handle. Oh, dang. Locked. Well, what did you expect? Maybe he has a spare key somewhere. You're not seriously still thinking of going through his stuff. Besides, that door doesn't look like it uses regular keys. Are we going to stumble upon something that we probably shouldn't? Yeah, you're right. Oh, what about that key card Ren gave you earlier? Key card? Was Moth talking about the weird plastic card Ren pressed into my hands before he left? I assumed it was only used to unlock the front door, which, to be fair, was a rather odd thing to give me. But if this key card can be used to unlock other rooms in his apartment, then maybe it wasn't so odd after all. Well, whatever. It's not like I'm planning on using it to help Moth snoop through Ren's belongings without his knowledge. At that, I make my intentions known. There's no point. I left his keycard back in my room, and besides, if the door's locked, it's probably for a reason. We shouldn't go in there. You might not want to, but what if I do? Moth, you might get gotted. Curiosity might kill the cat this time, and satisfaction might not bring it back. Moth. Espoir? Come on. What if he's one of the lucky people who got Haruko's limited edition sword? You're seriously not interested? Even the slightest bit? Okay, so maybe I was just a little, tiny, minuscule bit curious, but that spark of interest didn't justify breaking into a locked room without the other person's knowledge. And while it technically wouldn't be breaking in if I used the keycard to unlock the door, Ren still trusted me enough to give me one. Not Moth, me. Besides, I already did my own snooping yesterday, and look where that got me. Look, instead of breaking in, why don't you go and ask Ren first? I'm sure he wouldn't mind giving you the full tour of his collection, if he even has one. You've got a point. Man, why didn't I think of that? Ah! Ren, that doesn't count as a jump scare, but you jump scared me again.
Think about what?
All of a sudden, Ren appears from behind one of the dark hallways and scares the living crap out of us. Whoa! Hey, Pookie Wookie. We were just... Moth wanted to look at your Haruko collection. What? Hey!
In that room? Why would I... Oh. Well, this is a bit embarrassing, but that room isn't... It's not finished yet. It's a mess.
A mess? What was he talking about?
Once it's more presentable, I'll be sure to invite you back and give you the full tour.
Right. Sorry.
There's nothing to be sorry about.
He truly is the real-life embodiment of Haruko, and... Wait, didn't he have a line similar to that in the manga? Moth must have been on the same wavelength as me, since their mood immediately shifts from embarrassment to excitement before they shoot me a look as if to say, "You heard that too, right?" But before I can respond, Ren cuts me off with a timid laugh.
Anyway, was there anything else you needed?
He was looking for the bathroom earlier. She needed to pee so badly. Hey! I mean, I do. Oh, but calling me out for wanting to see his Haruko collection was fine, huh?
The bathroom? Of course. It's just down the hall, near the kitchen. Here, I can show you. Follow me.
Leaving Moth to their own devices, I quickly catch up to Ren and follow him down the hallway. Soon enough, the events of the day slowly catches up and leaves me feeling tired and drained. Man, today had been a lot, huh? But just as I settle into bed, I hear a faint knock coming from the door. Was it Ren? I let out a faint "come in" and wait for my visitor to emerge. To my surprise, it's Moth that appears from behind the door with a sheepish smile on their face. Moth? Hey, I didn't wake you, did I? Sorry, I just find it hard to fall asleep when everything is quiet. I'm used to my younger siblings bickering in the room next door, or hearing someone playing video games downstairs. Do you mind if can I chill with you for a while? I promise I'll sleep in my own bed later. Without missing a beat, I lift the covers and pat the spot next to me, and with a relieved smile, Moth crawls into the bed and lets out a faint hum once they sink into the mattress. They seem content lying on their back, so I do the same and look up at the ceiling. The silence that follows is momentary, seeing as Moth soon speaks once more, only this time their voice is much softer than before. Thanks for today. No one's really gone out of their way to make me feel so included. Seen? I'm not really sure what word I'm trying to look for, but I really appreciate everything you've done. I mean, you of all people know that I don't have many friends. I have trouble talking to people, but I'm glad I could get along with you and Ren this easily. Oh, yeah, you didn't seem to have any trouble talking with Ren. Heh, probably because his personality reminds me so much of Haruko. Though, I didn't think the whole light Arcadia fashion would suit him, but weirdly enough, it kinda does. Honestly, it's like Ren walked straight out of my dreams or something. I mean, he's practically a walking amalgamation of all of my recent interests. Must be all the manifesting you've been doing in our DMs. Oh please, manifesting? I think you're the one who's been doing that. Hi, Daisy. Oh please, manifesting? I think you're the one who's been doing that. I mean, you always ask for Haruko to be real, and look what happened. I sure do wish Gin Ichimaru was real. I'd be ashamed if Gin Ichimaru was real, or Underfell Sands, or Jacob. True, but I distinctly recall asking for him to be my husband as well. I guess whoever was listening missed that part. Well, just let me introduce you to this really cool visual novel called 14 Days with You. Manifest harder. Moth can't seem to contain their laughter at my words, and they end up clamping a hand over their mouth to silence their sounds, lest they wake up Ren. Is Ren even asleep? The corners of their eyes crinkle as they turn to look at me with a smile, and I find myself mirroring their expression. Good night, Espoir. Thanks for today. Night, Moth. And at that, they roll onto their back once more and pull the covers up to their chin. The silence returns once more, and I'm left to stew in my own thoughts. Today had honestly been a lot of fun. Plus, it was nice to know that Moth enjoyed themselves this much. I have no doubt that I'll be sad once they leave for the city tomorrow, but I didn't want to ruin this moment with my sappy feelings. With one last smile, I turn on my side and slowly drift off to sleep. And no shenanigans occurred. Aww. Alright, let's see if we can really mess things up. I want to compliment one more thing about the design of this game. When saving and loading, sometimes in Renpai I get confused as to whether the thing's about to save or load, and I often save over files that I want to load. But this, it clearly says saved or ready to load. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. Like, sometimes the arrow, sometimes it's there, but I don't pay attention to that because I'm looking at the file, and it clearly says ready to load, and I appreciate that very much. So, trying to get the most messed up, bad ending that I can get, hopefully, instead of saying, I feel sick about hearing all the gory things happening on the television screen, what if I say, I enjoy seeing it? I like the blood. I like the destruction. Not really, but I guess some morbid part of me honestly liked hearing about all these sickening topics on the news. Though it made sense, considering how I'd been all but encompassed by it while living in the city. Everywhere I went, I was surrounded by petty crimes, selfish losers who called themselves my friends, and even the stench of death. I always thought moving to Corland Bay would give me a break from it. After all, everyone always says nothing bad happens here, but I guess I was wrong. Yeah, so this is right after you get the mysterious television report that somebody fell into a shark tank. It was Teo. It was definitely Teo. Ren looks as though he has something deeply serious he wants to say, and I had some kind of inclination as to what it might be. Something happened at the aquarium, Espoir. You might want to... Actually, maybe we should move this conversation to the kitchen. I already know, Ren. You do? About... Yeah, I saw it on the news. So it's true then. Someone really did die. I didn't really stick around to find out once the first cop car pulled up, but I don't know. Something doesn't add up. What do you mean? Ren looks conflicted with what he wants to say. I passed by that shark tank when I went to retrieve your phone, and I didn't exactly stop to look, but I didn't see any dead bodies in there. Look, I know we said some incriminating things today, but I swear, it wasn't serious, and Angel, I would never, I could tell Ren was taking this hard, with how he wouldn't meet my gaze, and his shoulders seemed to shake. I wasn't the one who killed him. It's okay, I believe you. Why would you do that? Why would you even do that, Ren? You do? It was like a weight was taken off of his shoulders, and without thinking, I find myself stepping closer to bring Ren into a comforting hug. Aw. I know you, Ren. You would never hurt a fly. I mean, technically, up to day 5, we have no evidence that Ren did anything, and plus we've got two or other suspicious characters. And I saw what happened on TV. They fell into that tank. The reporters say it was a self-inflicted accident. Man, you really are an angel. I can feel his hands clench around the back of my shirt before he pulls away with a forlorn expression. He attempts to put on a smile for my sake, though I can see right through it. Here, why don't we eat something to get our minds off this? I still feel weirded out, Ren. Why don't you leave us alone to our business? Sorry. The moment Moth and I reach the main street, I immediately pick up on the lack of, noise. Aside from a lone cop car, there were hardly any other cars or people on the street, and most of the stores appeared to be closed. Weird. Was today a public holiday? I doubt it, considering I was initially supposed to work today. Suddenly, Moth comes to an abrupt stop in front of the only open stores on the street, a quaint little gift shop
just opposite of the ice cream parlor. I wasn't here before. The storefront itself is warm and inviting, though with the limited amount of space and endless amount of clutter inside, it didn't seem to be designed to fit more than a few customers at a time. Oh, do you mind if I check this store out real quick? I want to get a few souvenirs for my family back home. Go for it. Thanks, I won't be long. This is the path where I'm being mean, and I told Ren to go away, and something different is happening, and Moth is going into a place that's too small for both of us to be, being separated from me. Ren and or mysterious figures. Do not the Moth. Leaving my friend to do their own thing, I step away from... Oh, wait, if Moth isn't there, and is this part, is there nobody to save me from getting pushed? Leaving my friend to do their own thing, I step away from the gift shop and take a moment to absorb the weird eeriness of the scenery before me. It still made absolutely no sense for most of the buildings to be closed for the day, nor the fact that there were barely any people out on the street. Did it have to do with something that had been on the news? There had been a few murders happening recently, and to be fair, I probably should be more concerned about them. But this kind of macabre stuff, it's normally unheard of, especially in Corland Bay. This little seaside town has always prided itself on how safe and close-knit everything is, so all this talk about murders and killings, it didn't make any sense. It's almost like I carried the worst parts of the city with me when I moved back. What a depressing thought. Shaking my head, I decided there's no point in dwelling over this. Why is the music slowly fading out? Not when I have more pressing matters to focus on. I'm supposed to be having fun with Moth today and... Without warning, a sturdy pair of hands clamp over my mouth and chest before I'm being dragged backwards. I'm just more mad at this point, like, how dare you? Panic surges through me like electricity, and my heart races as I struggle against the grip tightening around me. How dare you? Almost desperately, I try to fight back as I get pulled off the street and into a dark alleyway. Ah! A scream claws its way up my throat, but it dies on my tongue as the gloved hand holds my jaw closed and prevents any sound from coming out. Dang it, I was gonna say bite him! Bite him! What's happening? Without wasting a second, I, try to kick their legs. Yeah, sweep them. While my upper half may be restrained, my legs sure weren't. Just use your upper body strength and, kick them. That wouldn't work. There's no way I'd be able to do that. With all the force I can muster, I swing my right leg into the air before hurling back into my assaulter's knee. A strained cry of pain comes from behind me before my entire world starts to spin. Ugh! In less than a second, I'm slammed against a large dumpster and thrown to the ground. The sounds of boxes crashing and glasses shattering are all I hear as I roll onto my side, only to feel something grab my ankles and drag me forward. Ah! Kick him in the chin! A shriek finally escapes me, and just as I try to kick my assaulter again, a flash of pink moves from above me. Uh-oh. What was that? I watch in complete horror as Ren brandishes a broken glass bottle in one hand and jams it into the person's rib over and over again, with each thrust becoming more ruthless than the last. The gruesome sounds of glass shards breaking, skin squelching, painful grunting, and blood dripping all blend together in this dark alleyway, yet I can't find it in me to look away. All I can do is watch in silence as Ren repeatedly stabs my assaulter without a single hint of remorse. His usual soft eyes are void of any emotion, and he doesn't relent until they go limp in his hold and slump to the ground with an audible thump. Thank you, Ren! But even then, Ren doesn't stop. He lifts his leg and starts to kick them now, finding some kind of sick pleasure in watching their body recoil and hit the wall with each heavy blow. My blood goes cold the moment the dull sounds of bones cracking reaches my ears, but my rapid heartbeat drowns it all out. And when Ren turns to me, there's an almost predatory look in his eyes that keeps me rooted in place. Oh no. Oh no! Ren? Honey? Thank you? His breathing is labored and ragged, yet what intrigues me the most is the way the corners of his lips twitch into an almost sickeningly sweet smile. Espoir. In an instant, he's foregoing his bloodied victim to reach for me. I can feel him cup my face with so much tenderness that it almost makes the moment feel romantic. But the rough texture of Ren's blood-soaked hands against my skin pulls me back to reality and sends a noticeable shiver down my spine as he checks my body for any signs of damage. When his eyes meet mine, Good job, Ren. Good job. Honey, you got some... You got... on your... Oh, it's on your cardigan. It's on your cardigan. We gotta get some peroxide to get that out. The initial shock still hasn't worn off yet, but at least I can feel my legs again. Ren must have taken notice as he gently moves me towards the wall to lean against it, before he sinks down to the ground alongside me. I saw what happened after your friend left you alone. Are you all right?
Is that person all right?
Ren glances over his shoulder towards the body he'd practically maimed. They're not dead, thankfully. Just unconscious.
You sure about that?
You sure about that? But if you're feeling fine, we should get out of here before the cops come.
Shouldn't we tell them what happened? Isn't this a literal, reportable offense?
That's a good idea. But imagine all the trouble this would cause us. This might jeopardize your job at the library, too, and there's also your friend we need to consider.
Right. Moth. I shouldn't stress them out with all this. Traumatic experience or not, I still want their impression of Corland Bay to be a good one. You've got a point. Before I can get lost in my thoughts, the sleeves of Ren's cardigan come into view as he starts to wipe the blood from my face. There's a tender look in his eye, and I can't help but feel weak in the knees at the vulnerability of it all. In return, I reach out to smear some of the red on his cheek as well. Ren almost seems to keen at my touch, but just as I bring my blood-stained finger towards his mouth for him to taste, he cuts me off.
Here, why don't I clean up this scene a bit? Make it look like a mugging attempt gone wrong. Because that's what this was, right?
Yeah, a mugging attempt.
And you'll go back to that beach, wait for your friend, and pretend this never happened, right?
Sure, yeah, okay.
Trust me, everything will be fine. I'll make sure nothing incriminating leads to us. All you gotta do is act like nothing is wrong. I know you can do that for me. Can't you, Espoir?
You're talking in a way that seems very un-Haruko-like. I can only offer him a meek nod.
You're always so good for me.
I don't know how to feel about this situation, but then again I did choose this path. In the end, Ren ended up accompanying Moth and me to his apartment. He talked about creating some kind of alibi as a precaution, but I trusted him enough to take care of any loose ends. No matter which way I look at it, this was just a robbery attempt that went sideways. Plain and simple. Yeah. It's a good thing Ren got to him, and not me, 'cause he wouldn't be walking around so good no more. 'Cause I would have beat him up myself, but, Ren came and kind of saved me the trouble. I totally had the situation under control. The thought alone brings me some semblance of comfort, if not for the fact that it also meant I'd be down a stalker as well, if that was even my stalker in the first place. There was something about that assailant that felt different, somehow, like it wasn't the same person who broke into my apartment all those days ago. Before I can start making yet another mountain out of a molehill, Moth's carefree antics pull me from my thoughts. Oh my god, what kind of entryway is this? And is that marble flooring? Dude, you can afford this much marble?
I didn't buy it. It came with the apartment. And so did the rest of the furniture. Or most of it.
Casually,
casually, not looking at the fact that we most likely killed a dude.
I still couldn't shake off the traumatic encounter from earlier, or the fact that I may potentially still have a stalker who won't leave me alone. Still, going to Ren's place was definitely a smart idea. There's an entire team of security personnel down in the reception, and you need a specific keycard to make it past the first floor. So we're perfectly safe here, right, Ren? Except for that, that black smoke thing that was in the last episode. Why don't we snuggle up together, Ren? I think you deserved it. Eleanor once told me it's more efficient to stay warm by sharing body heat. Why don't we sit a bit closer?
Closer? Yeah, sure. Okay.
Seriously, Ren? Quiet! Without missing a beat, I throw the blanket over our shoulders and scoot closer to Ren, until my arms and thighs are brushed against his. But Ren takes it a step further by pulling my legs over his lap and resting one of his hands over my knee to prevent them from falling. And just as I dare to take a glance in his direction, Moth chooses now of all times to turn around to talk to us. Finally! We get to see Haruko! I doubt they realize what Ren and I were currently doing in the dark. In fact, Moth seemed all too engrossed with the TV as Haruko's grand entrance flashes on the screen. Yet I couldn't help but let my mind wander towards Ren. Being this close to him, I can practically feel the warmth radiate from his body. Yet all I can focus on is the way his thumb rubs small circles on my knee, while his other hand plays with the loose material of my bottoms. Almost daringly, I sneak a glance in his direction, only to find him staring at me with a gentle expression in return.
I thought you wanted to watch the beach episode.
I am!
The TV is that way.
With a teasing smile, Ren points towards the television, though the look in his eyes practically challenges me to look away. Okay, here we go. We're going to the beach now. There, on the television in all its glory, is the iconic Giant's Grove we visited earlier today, and Moth can barely contain their excitement. Aww. Hey, what are you two whispering about over there? Move closer to Ren?
We're just wondering if Haruko's outfit is going to... Angel?
Deciding to see just how far I can take things, I practically situate myself in Ren's lap without another word, and judging by his outburst, I know I don't need to turn around to see how red his cheeks are. His outfit? It hasn't... Whoa, I didn't know you guys were that close. Well, whatever. You two can get all cozy over there. Just try not to hit me with your feet. I can feel Ren's legs move from under me, almost as if he wanted to go through with Moth's threat. Do not! The Moth! Before he ultimately reconsiders. Instead, he wraps his arms around my waist and nuzzles his head into the crook of my neck. Oh.
This is just trying to keep warm, right?
Is it working?
I think you need to be closer.
I don't think that's physically possible, Ren. It was true. I was basically ensnared by his lanky limbs, with barely any room left to move around. With the way Ren's arms were circled around my waist, and how his thighs caged me on either side, I could do very little except sit there and try to focus on the screen. Tee.
I don't know if I've seen every single new thing in the new update, because there is a lot. There are a lot of different branching paths. So if I missed anything major that you'd like to see, please put it in the comments section to let me know. And over on my adult Patreon, I read out the adult scenes. All I can say is Ren is starting to get way more bold. His little cute boy facade is starting to slip. And as the game says, the days are going to get a little bit darker as they continue, so who knows what shenanigans will be in store. And we now know that Teo and Olivia are dead. They're really dead. They ain't coming around here no more. And then there's that other mysterious person who popped up and nearly pushed me in the street. But for now, we're only on day 5 of 14, so we still got plenty of time to figure it all out, or get more confused.
And if you would like to see more super cool cute yanderes or just general cool visual novels, feel free to peruse the rest of my channel. And don't forget to like, subscribe, or interact in any way that's comfortable for you, as we're almost there to 100,000 subscribers. Well, anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Take care of yourself, have a great night, and remember, there is always hope.